Peace and love, y'all. It's your brother A.D.V.I.S.S, and we are here with another episode of More Interviews, aka Memoirs of Our Real Experiences. And for today's interview, again, I'm very excited. I'm also very hyped, and I'm grateful to have an iconic legend, aka just overall dope individual and person, which I appreciate the grind. I appreciate his intentions as well as I appreciate his passion, not only with music but with the youth. So I'm going to have the brother Definite Mass make his way on here. But as I'm doing that, for this interview, if y'all have any questions or anything that you would like to ask and share with the brother Definite Mass, please put them down in the comments, because again, we appreciate y'all's time. We appreciate y'all coming through. And with that being said, I had to get the brother on. And again, y'all, I'm excited, man. Mad excited, man. As well as we're going to have a special appearance of guest from. What's going on?
What's up with it, boy?
What's going on, my brother? Shoot, good to see you in here, man. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
No, thank you for the opportunity, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. You know what I'm saying?
There it is, y'all. Exactly. But before we get into anything, brother, and thank you again for coming on. Again, y'all, thank y'all for coming in. If y'all don't know who this is, man, y'all need to get acquainted, because if not, you missing out on a lot of great dopeness in your playlist and just music in general. But for this more interviews that we have for today is with the brother Definite Mass, aka Def Mass, however you want to end up calling the brother, but please put respect on his name. But if you want, check this brother out. I'll put all of everything else on there, streaming on Spotify as well as Bandcamp, etc. All of that is going to be on there for y'all. But please tap in. And yes, as well as we're gonna have a special appearance from as well. D Ski the Illegal, right? If right, Illegal.
Yeah.
Production's gonna be in here with us too as well. So there's a double treat for y'all. And I'm gonna get to know, because I don't know too much about the brother. So this is gonna be wonderful. But before we start that, brother, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Doing really good. Just excited to be here with you today, and just happy to have the new project out. Some new music to share with everybody, and just really excited about how things have been progressing.
Yes. Yes, man. And we are going to be talking about that said project later on in this interview for sure, y'all. And please, again, if y'all have questions, throw them in there, because, again, I have my questions that I'm going to ask the brother, because I do want to know a lot of number of different things. But if y'all are interested and also curious, please throw them down in there. Also, on top of that, brother, before we start, is there any questions you have for me or anyone, or things you like to share, or any comments or concerns?
No, I'm just happy to be here with you, man. This is exciting. I'm excited just because of the work you're doing. Taking the time to be able to speak to individuals that you find to be important and highlighting in our community and stuff like that. So that's what I'm here for, to support you, man.
It's all love. Thank you so much, brother. But yes, with that, y'all, let's go ahead and let's get this interview under the way. So, for those folks who do not know you, but for those who do, if you can, tell us a bit about yourself and your background so people can get acquainted with you as well.
All right, so I'm from Southern California, San Pedro, California. Grew up MC throughout the region, and throughout the last 20 years, just been working in the LA scene. I'm in Vegas now, but my background is with music production, songwriting. I teach youth how to do recording arts during the day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm big on community building, tying people together, networking. Um, and that's just been my grind right now, just building up the community.
Mm, thank you, brother. Yeah, I know. There's definitely more there. And then on the side note, just to say, that's where I was gracious enough to meet you. Without, again, it was such a wonderful surprise to see you in your element and also be there again with you. And shouts out to the Boys and Girls Club out there, Wilmington, aka San Pedro, all around in that area.
Hey,
And Q Street, but again, brother, thank you for sharing that piece there. So including all of that in your passion for building on the community and just again bringing folks together. Tell us, when did you begin creating music?
Um, I was I was in the 10th grade, so
Mm,
I was in the 10th grade, and I didn't have any passions or aspirations to like make music. I was just an avid hip hop fan. During this time, it's like 998, 999. So
mm,
it's like Black Star just dropped. You know what I mean? You got a bunch of dope hip hop albums and records coming out at that time period. Tupac had recently passed.
mm.
A bunch of things like that. The Machiavelli album was coming out and things like that. Um, but yeah, I met an artist named Blue, and he's in my
Shouts out to
driver's
Blue.
ed class, and we were just chopping it up over a Source magazine. And he said that he writes, and he was like, "You should write something." And then I came back the next day with I got more MVPs than Michael Jordan. The report is the nigga you facing got more airtime than the space station. A big mistake is what you're making. When we step in the ring, you niggas get to shaking like boiling pots when the crack is baking. And then I was just like,
Oh,
ever since then I was just kind of just love battle rapping. We had a crew in high school, constantly battling. I got into
hmm.
some gospel raps after that. Long Journey went solo, was in groups, but it didn't go solo till like 2009.
Matters at hand.
Yeah, Matters at Hand was the birth of the solo Definite Mass journey. And since then, just been doing solo projects and just working with any and everybody that I could.
Mm. Which again, all those folks and people that you spoke on, and I mean, we'll get to some of the songs again later on down the line because I got some questions with some of those
All
songs
right.
that you spit on this new project. Um, but on top of again getting into it around 10th grade, and then again meeting those folks that you would later on continue to create that music. Um, what was that like? Was there like a defining moment where you knew that you wanted to just create music, hip hop, or just like specifically art? Like, what was like a defining moment?
I think that was it, man. When I came back with that verse, and Blue liked it. I mean, we don't know him. His name was different at that time. It was
Yeah.
Spitting Image. If that's a history lesson for most people that
Ooh.
don't know. His name was Spitting Image at first, and but once he liked it, it just kind of fueled me. And I didn't play sports. I was a street hooper. I never played organized sports. I did run track in high school, but that was to quit smoking and drinking and stuff like that.
Mm,
But I didn't have any extracurricular activities other than like trying to run streets and chase girls. You know what I mean? So like when I started rapping, that was something that I found to be I could feel confident in and like try to build. I felt I was good and people were telling me I was good at it. So it was the first
mm,
time like experiencing that, like my own thing. And so
mm,
it really just took me in just from getting good feedback from people, you know. So that's what it just drew me in because I had nothing else really going on,
mm.
constructive wise.
Yes. Wow, man.
So it's like one of those like
Yes.
music saved my life type,
I,
you know what I mean? Like scenarios gave me some purpose, gave me like some direction, some drive, you know. So that's it.
man, yes. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to just say like Lupe Fiasco, hip hop saved my life type,
Hip hop saved me.
situation. Man, wow. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that happened because then again, all that it is right now, and wouldn't be able again to have the opportunity to have met you and etc. etc. goes on. So
Yeah,
along with that, brother, I want to backtrack a little bit because we
of
got the
course.
10th grade. We got the 10th grade to a little bit of where, not say you as in right now, but who was deaf as a child growing up?
Shit. I was prior to Cali, I lived in Minneapolis. I was born in the Midwest, so I'm from Minnesota. So
Mm.
I grew up, and I grew up on the same blocks where George Floyd was murdered. You know what I'm saying? I went to that Cub Foods, the corner store right there where he was murdered, right there by the police. Um, and just seeing all that happen, and I was like right there, like it was just so surreal to me because
Mm.
I remember just being a kid and mobbing the streets and going to get a bag of chips there. You know, who would have known that something so horrific would have gone down at that same location. Um, so I grew up on the south side of Minneapolis. I was
Mm.
a young hooper. Um, this is the time, like, I think Toronto just got their franchise, the Raptors, the old school with the dinosaur on the joint. You know
Oh,
what I mean? So I had Vince
yeah.
Carter jersey. You know what I mean? Like the first joints. Grant Hill,
Oh,
Anthony Hardaway,
yes.
uh, Shaq era. That's the era I was when I was younger. What I'm talking about. So, um, just a street hooper, trying to stay out of trouble. You know what I mean? I
Oh,
was always
man.
found myself in trouble, but you know, try to stay out of trouble.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Mm. And with all of that too as a child and, growing up, which I'm glad again got to get some background from where you're from, was there also same thing with earlier for significance, like that moment for you with music? Was there a significant moment in childhood that's like stuck with you, whether if it was some knowledge, whether if it was an experience that either changed you to go this way or that way again, or take another road, in particular?
When I was 13,
Mm.
um, I was in a car accident,
Mm.
and it was pretty severe. The car rolled. I could have lost my life at that time. I got a scar on my head. There's
Mm.
like a dent in my cranium. You know what I'm saying? I could have lost all kind of like functionalities, or definitely a miracle point in my life. Um, Survived that. You know what I mean? And after that, um, my aunt's my aunt's husband brought me to West Angeles for
Mm.
gospel. Mom brought me to West Angeles, and I went with family. Um, and I was like converted Christian at that time.
Mm.
So even though I didn't like thoroughly pursue that religious practice at that time,
Yeah.
that was one time where I had actual reflection and was like, okay, I need to start taking a different approach to how I do things, and you know stuff like that. But it wasn't until maybe 3 years later,
Yeah.
4 years later, where I actually started practicing and got into like gospel raps and like being a youth minister
Mm.
for junior high kids at a very young age, at like 18. You know what I'm saying? So,
Wow. Man, thank you for sharing that and being open, about that defining moment. And
oh
as
yeah,
well as
man.
that, I mean, because again, you be in there and then again, some questions either can be, too personal or, if you share it, like it's much appreciated,
Yeah, yeah. No, I
you
think
know.
it's good people know. If you don't, you got to pay attention to those moments in your life where stuff happens,
Yes.
and if you don't pay attention, you miss the lesson. You know, you miss the lesson, you miss the blessing from it. It may be tragic. There's a lot of tragedies that happen, but you just have to like know how to adapt that situation to something that you could take from it and continue to live with.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. And carry on.
Carry on, man.
Yeah, I was over here gonna start doing, of course, like plays off of the songs from the project. But I'm like, I'm gonna calm it down a bit. That's just be me. That just be me in my head when I do stuff like this. Uh, but along with not only just carry on and being able to be mindful of those moments that happen in your life and use them as lessons. Where do you draw your inspiration and motivation from? Besides, again, to carry and get those lessons when stuff happens, where do you personally get your motivation and inspiration from?
Currently, are you talking about back then?
Oh, if you want, you can give me the double dose, or you can say currently, whichever rides with you.
Right now, I say just currently, all this motivation is just coming from me paying attention to my purposes. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
identifying purpose, um, being able to lock into whatever energies are promoting that purpose.
yeah,
Because without having the purpose in my actions,
yeah,
it can be the approach is void. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like
mm,
it's empty because you can. It's kind of like taking a job.
yeah,
Okay, I could take a job to get paid, right?
mm-hmm,
And I know that I'm going to get paid. That's fine, and that's an incentive enough to do a job.
yes,
But when you do this job, and when the job gets hard, or you face obstacles, or whatever the case, sometimes getting paid is not enough
yeah,
for a motivator. You know what I
agreed.
mean? So it's kind of like, okay, now when I approach things, I'm able to do music to live now. You
Mm-hmm,
know, now when I'm able to work and operate and stay motivated, I know that I'm operating in purpose. So that
yeah,
allows me to stay motivated. Like the pay, the pay could be minimal.
yes,
My contributions in life are infinite. You
mm,
know, they have different values. So that's kind of where I'm at, like operating in purpose. Of course, when you do things for others and your community,
yeah,
um, it's not to receive like a pat on the back or like any kind of recognition or anything like that, but in its respect in the energy cycle,
yeah,
like God is gonna bless that, or the universe is gonna bless, or however, whatever spirituality, like you believe in karma, whatever it
mm-hmm,
is, positive energy is conductive to other positive energy, no matter how you look at it,
yes,
whatever angle you come at it. So if I keep operating in truth and keep operating in purpose,
yes.
it only magnifies my process. You know what I mean? So that's my motivator.
Mm. And if I may ask to get in with that too, of your motivator being operating that purpose, give me one of your purposes then.
My truest gift is acknowledging people's abilities
Mm,
and allowing them to be able and allowing them to. I guess I'm a medium in a sense where I just kind of casually. I'm a visionary, so like I'll see whatever it is
yes,
to the highest magnified, well, to my understanding at the moment. Obviously people take their passions and stuff further than what I could ever want or desire or initially conceive at the
yes.
moment, but the initial acknowledgement of that skill or talent or whatever it is and being go, oh, well, you do this, you ever thought about really doing it? You know, you ever
Yeah.
I
thought
got to
to
find a way to
yourself,
control my volume because
what's
I
up,
can't hear
Eddie?
y'all.
What's
Welcome.
going on?
What's up, Legal?
Good to
Wait a
see you,
second. Hold
brother.
up.
Oh, he's working on it. But yeah, no, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
I'm trying to
saying.
get my volume straight. I can't
All right,
hardly
you
hear you
cool? You
guys.
cool? But yeah, no, my main thing is just being able to identify those things and individuals and being able to contribute some sort of fashion to see that spark, like, oh, I never
Mm,
thought it like that. Oh, I do this already. Oh, I'm already doing arts and crafts and stuff. I never thought to like package it and sell it, and oh, I'm already exercising this ability. I never thought to like flex my intellectual property and try to be an entrepreneur about it. That's what I'm on.
Mm, got you. Can you hear me?
I'm
Yeah,
working with a handicap, but I'm gonna try to do it because you guys, as soon as I started, the volume went down as soon as you started me up. So I'm just gonna hold it near when you ask the question and then pull it back and respond.
Got you,
Gotta do what we
got you,
gotta do,
got you,
man.
brother.
hey, it works. It works.
Yes, and for
Yeah,
those coming on too, this is make sure I'm saying it right. I'm gonna let Def say it so I don't say it completely wrong. But Def, you go ahead and introduce the brother that's with us right now too.
Introducing my guy, my brother, my friend, my favorite producer, D-Ski the Illegal. You know what I'm saying?
appreciate
Without a
that,
doubt,
man.
hands down, just across the board, uncontested, unrecognized, underrated. You know what I mean? But a champion nonetheless. A great guy, and just highly, highly thankful to be able to cross paths with my
Yo,
man.
I appreciate that, bro, for real. Seriously, appreciate
Yes, sir.
y'all.
Man, that's beautiful, man. Beautiful. No, yeah, no, you're all good. Thank you for joining in here. I mean, this is again an unexpected surprise for myself, which I mean, this is dope. This is dope. This is really more so what a lot of this is too, and not just only building on the community, but again, getting us to also know, more and more about ourselves, so then we share that out to the folks. So
For sure.
appreciate you. So
Yeah.
continue
So
with
I
that,
got
brother. So
about,
the
I'm
point I
just letting
wanted
y'all
to
know I
end
got
up
about
saying on that.
20, 25 minutes. And so I'm going to do my best, like I said, with this little handicap to try to hear you and then respond because I know you
All
probably got
right.
some questions you want to ask.
Oh yeah, definitely. Got you. We got you. Um, to jump back to what you were saying, Def, it sounds very reminiscent of that you're what I would call a developer. Is someone who, again, not only takes and molds those folks, but helps them to see and, like you said, identify those skills that they may have, but then help them to move it and create into something even, more that they didn't expect or even thought to even think of. So
Yeah,
I can see you. Honestly, you are a developer. If I could say it, you are a developer.
yeah, yeah. So I had to understand. It was like I'm running across all these different avenues with how to do music. I do a bunch of stuff. I'm an event organizer. I'm a producer. I shoot videos. I produce. Write songs. I rap. I sing. I do. You know what I mean? Engineer, whatever. But all of that is kind of just instrumental. It's not even like the gift. If you feel me?
Mm,
Like I had to go that those are all just instrumental in how I'm exercising my ability to be able to do my true gift, which is bring out those things in other people. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? The non-selfish factor of the gift. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
And
yes,
so once I tapped into that, then it's like all kind of stuff's just been happening. You know, um, because it's selfless. I've realized like you can't just be doing things for yourself all the time. Not, I mean, self love and self care
yeah,
first, obviously, but I'm talking about in the terms of motivation and like why I'm doing something. You know what I mean? Like ultimately, is to give back first.
yes. Mm, as powerfully stated as powerfully it can be. And to add on and give you another question on top of that, and then I might have a question again. I'm gonna ask the same thing to D-Ski as well. Is you know how long, or even if it's still going on now, how long did it take you to find and refine that particular purpose that you have right there to identify, and again, be a developer in a way?
Ah, I knew I've been exercising it, but the thing is, I always thought I had to wear different hats at different times. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Because I do a lot of different things. So I used to go, oh, well, the only way I'm going to be able to move this is if I stick with this one thing and just do this one thing and master it. Um, but as I'm learning, you have to use all of your abilities. You know what I mean? And if you really want to do this without working a regular gig. You have to use
yes,
all of your abilities because it's like one day I could have a video shoot. The next day I could be um, making a beat for somebody. The next day somebody wants a mix. Next
yeah,
day somebody's like, "Can you write this song? Can you?" If I was just doing one thing, I would just be solely relying on one stream of business. so I have to be able to wear the multiple hats. That happened to me maybe about a year ago, and
Mm,
more recently magnified within the last 4 months due to
wow.
some tragic events. So, just magnifying it.
Mm. And again, man, I appreciate you answering as well as again, it just goes to show you for even those that's watching it here too that again it takes that time and that effort to not only build on self to be able to identify these things, but you want to be able to really keep pushing and pursuing to get again better, get stronger, so that again, if you have your purpose, your why, and what it may be, that it will not only add, of course, and not to get just the accolades, but also it just brings fullness and it brings fulfillment to you so that you can share that with others so that they can go on and also find that fulfillment and happiness for themselves as well in the same process.
Yeah, it's like the universe is like, I see you, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
You want to? I see where you're going with this, and then it just starts just rolling. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's no another attributes, no nothing to basically praise other than God to what we're doing, and as far as like community work and you know even for hip hop.
Yes.
I've always been an underground MC. I've always been a counterculture, counter pop, like y'all poppy, we gonna give you that raw type of guy.
Exactly. And
But Illegal got his own set of skills. He's over there. We share some commonalities, but he's his own animal over there.
yes, but speaking of that, um, Deeski, if you can, and I'm gonna get you in here with it. For those who don't know you, as well as me only knowing a little bit, um, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your background?
Was
Ah,
he
you
over there
silent.
listening to beats? He's over there rapping.
Wait, what? Oh, you're silent. We can't hear you.
Your audio
Can't hear you.
can't hear you, bro.
I'm just talking.
There you go. There you go.
Um,
Okay.
so when I put y'all on, man, for some reason the volume shot down, and I'm unable to hear y'all unless I do one of these numbers, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to have a delay when you ask me a question
All
and
right,
hear you on my computer.
all right. He's gonna
Wow.
ask the question right now.
Got to make it work.
He's gonna ask the question right now. Are you ready?
Yeah. All right, for sure,
All right,
brother.
so give me a quick second to catch up. When I put y'all on, man, for some reason, the volume shot down.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
super delay.
I'm
You
catching up to what y'all saying now, man.
Uber. Yo.
All right, so go ahead and ask your question now.
All right,
When you
so
ask me a question.
tell us a bit about yourself and your background.
All right, so you know what I mean. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, originally, basically
Shout
close
out
to where
Shot
Def
Town.
is. Yeah, basically close to where Def is from. As far as the Midwest, and I moved out to Cali in like 2013, 14, something like that.
Oh.
And I moved out there because we had some family. I'm one of those people. I do a lot of stuff for family. Just it's not something I
Mm.
do to make myself look better. It's just the way I was raised. You know what I mean? And so we came out here for some family stuff. And prior to that, I'd known the Tunnel Rats for about
Oh.
I known them for a minute, bro. Like for a minute, I knew a few of them personally. Like we was homies.
Propaganda?
Yeah, and so
Hey.
the way me and Def connected is he's friends with one of the Tunnel Rats. Well, he's friends with several of them, but one of my closest homies in the Tunnel Rats, he's friends with him. And so he linked
Mm.
us, and I
Go
got
ahead,
to
shout
listen
him
to the
out.
Def's music. Yeah,
Shout
and
out Rafi.
yeah, Rafi, yeah. And so it's like, I was listening to his music. I'm like, yo, this man got a lot in common with what I like as far as the way he does his music, the way he rhymes. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Just like I put him on a high pedestal as far as a lyricist. And so that was already in my mind before we even met each other. Like I reached out to him, he reached back, and we just started trading off tracks. And he worked fast as far as responding to me. So that also was a thing. I'm like, Yo, this man's quick
The
with it,
beast was so
and
crazy. I'm usually slacker, but the beast was so crazy. It was just like
yeah.
he needs this now, now.
Mm.
And so, I sent him some stuff, and I think first he wanted to do this one beat that a lot of people I sent it to did. They said I'm gonna do something with it. I even had one cat crack at it, and another group of people were using it for like an interlude on a show they did. So I sent him that, and he was gonna mess with that, but he heard some more stuff. He like, you know what? Let me mess with these other joints, and he sent it back like a day or two. Like half the song is done, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we about to work. We about to work. And
Mm.
it just went like that for a long time, man. We start building and knocking out 2 or 3 songs back to back, side by side, the whole 9 yards. And so we came to the table and said, let's do a full project.
Yeah.
And we worked on something. And both, I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm gonna reveal a little bit about us. Both him and I are perfectionists. Like we are very much perfectionists to a fault, but also it's a good side because we make sure everything is solid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it took us about 7 years, man, to be like, okay, let's go ahead and just put this out.
It's
Even if,
like it
Mm.
was like 5 years, bro.
yeah, 5 years, five
Yeah,
years, five.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and
No lie.
it was like, you know what? Let's stop chiseling at this thing and just put it out, give it to people. And we came up with the name Ski Mask because I'm D Ski and he's Def
That
Mask.
mask.
But we end up deciding to just go eventually as D Ski and Def Mask, as two artists working together rather than trying to make something entirely new.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you create something new, you have to draw a lot of attention to that new
New
thing as
thing.
opposed to coming with your built-in audience. And it's kind of
Yeah,
working better that way as far as us just doing it as two artists collaborating. But yeah, man, like the chemistry between me and this cat is unreal, bro. Like I got a lot of homies, man, and I got a lot of homies with similar chemistry, but I would say that the chemistry me and him have when it comes to music is just it's something I can't even put words to, bro. Like
Mm.
our
and
shit
not
just fits
not
so
only that, like
uniquely.
just through
You
the
know what I mean?
process, like it was really like crazy how we've already worked on a bunch of stuff, and then just became friends, like homies over that time period. Above just the music. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it'd be like he didn't really know I made beats, and I'll be like sending him some beats, and he'd be like, "This you?" And I'm like, and then he'll send me some raps because he ain't gonna say that he raps. He's not gonna say he raps, but he
Mm-hmm.
got bars too. So like he would send me some bars, and I'd be like, "You rap, nigga?" Yeah. So it turned into this thing where it was like we both do similar skill sets,
Yeah.
and so
And the
we
bugged out thing is I started as an MC, man, like back in the like I've been rapping like I ain't got a I'm not shy in my age, man. Y'all see my beard, man. So I've been rapping since the 90s, bro. And
Mm.
I got started because as far as production, because a lot of the times the beats my homies would have around them, like we went from like beatboxing on the block to doing like pause mix beats.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So we didn't have all the
pause tapes.
technology we have now. And so by the time I got to the point where I started taking this rap thing serious, I was like, I want beats like Dre got, or I want beats like Timberland got.
Mm.
And so I couldn't get none of my friends to give me none of that. And so I just learned how to do it. I'm like, let me learn how to do this. And Dilla was like my main source of inspiration for what I do.
Mm.
And so I think he was the first person that I ever heard make beats where I could understand what he was doing as I'm listening to the beats. I'm like, okay, I understand why he chopped that sample like that. I understand why he used that snare, that kick, as opposed to this one or that one. And so it kind of built me up to the point where I was paying attention to the micro details of production.
Yes.
And that's how I built myself up to become a better producer. And
Mm.
man, for some reason, the production took off. The rap was good. I love when I was rapping, but the production just took me to another level, man. I started meeting everybody and their mama through production. I'm like, wow, you know.
Man.
I found more value. I found more value with like production, because now I'll meet artists and then I'll build with them, and then they'll be like, "You rap?" Like, oh my
Mm.
god, But I find myself as more of an asset to other artists because I mean, you could get a verse from me, but I'm doing more of a service to you as an independent artist by producing you than just appearing on your song. You know
Mm,
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, because everybody needs beats for sure.
yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
man. Thank you for thank y'all. That's that back and forth. Just definitely sharing in on that and your experiences. And honestly, D Ski didn't even know on the top of like I had some of those questions. He went and already started talking about his progression through music and things. So like I told Def, I'm gonna ask you the same thing is where do you draw your inspiration and motivation from?
You know what? I'm gonna answer that question in a dual manner. So musically, I draw it from everything we probably all three grew up with that most people do. You know, the oldies,
Mm,
even stuff that's outside of our range. Like most people stop at the '60s, but I've heard music from like the '50s and the '30s, bro.
Yeah.
So
Sam
musically,
Cooke.
yeah, like musically, I draw inspiration from music that makes you feel a certain type of way when you listen to it, whether it's happy, sad, any emotion. Because I look at music as energy and motion. You know what I mean?
Mm,
You got sounds that's moving and it makes you feel certain types of ways and it can take your mood up or down, left and right. It just is energy.
mm-hmm.
But outside of music, just life in general, man, the ups and downs we go through, like I walk hand in hand with this man as he's been through tragic stuff. He's walking hand in hand with me as I've been through tragic. I'm going through some stuff right now I can't really share, but
Yeah.
it's just it all becomes a part of your music because music is like a way of venting the things you're going through.
Yes.
And we can all attest to this. If we didn't have music to listen to when we was going through hard times, we'd probably lose it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times I couldn't express myself but to let it out through musical expression, whether that's writing something or making
Yes.
a beat that has a certain vibe to it. And when I'm somebody might get pregnant and you got a kid, you're like, okay, now I got to write a song about this. Or somebody dies and you miss them, you got to make a beat in dedication to this. It's just an expression.
Yes.
So I draw from everything around me, man, that I experience and see, and all the
Mm.
senses.
Mm.
That's what's up.
That
Yeah,
is that's extremely powerful right there.
Welcome
And
story for a cause.
yes, that is Kundin, who is also another great individual who has so much wisdom and knowledge that is shared as well too. But I wanted to just share with because of the way that you did say your response, Ski, with I had came up with an acronym for music and this is what again from just listening to you, this is what it sounds like to me when it comes to music. And the acronym I got
okay,
for it is manifesting universal sounds into currency.
I
And that's
like that.
music.
I like that. Yeah,
I,
that's dope.
For sure.
That's dope, man. Yeah, I'm big on acronyms, man. I
I
just came up with this is top secret, so I'm gonna just share the information with y'all, but I can't share the fine details. I just came up with a clothing brand that's a lifestyle brand in the last week, and it's based
mm,
off of like I'm going through a family tragedy right now, and I
mm,
was trying to find peace in it, and I had like a vision where
yes.
some letters came to me, and that's what I can't share is the letters, but it's basically those letters hold so much depth and meaning,
Mm-hmm.
and when I look back over my life, I'm like, yo, I've been with this philosophy before I even had the words to put together for this philosophy. And so yeah,
Mm,
it's I'm huge on acronyms, man. They help you remember things easier. You mean?
yes. Yes, definitely. And man, I'm glad to hear that you have that opportunity coming. And again, I'm sending you love, power,
Appreciate
strength,
that.
all of that, to the situation again. And again, I'm thankful for both of y'all just being again open and to just sharing with each question and things of that sort. But continuing on for both of y'all, and then we're gonna get to the project so then people know. But then I also got some fun questions I want to share y'all too, as well as let me know, Ski, whenever you gotta go. And again,
Oh
so
yeah, I
I
got
can
about
keep
10
it
more
on
minutes.
time.
You good?
All right, for sure. The next question that I have for both of y'all, and whoever wants to go first on it is, what part of hip hop or element initially caught your attention and why?
You go ahead first, bro.
It was definitely raps, man. Like I grew up listening to the Midwest. I grew up listening to Bone Thugs, Psychodrama, Do or Die, Twister, Speed Knob Mobsters, Brother Lynch.
Mm.
Just a bunch of even RBX was abstract for me, but he was tied in to that scene. Um,
Mm.
but just listening to different raps and stuff like that. I grew up just memorizing raps and loving hip hop, the sounds and the stories and the you know that's pretty much it. Then later on, um, I really didn't get any into any other elements, but I always respected them,
Mm-hmm.
and I always respected the DJ and the b-boy and the art. I had a lot of friends that were graffiti artists. I had a lot of b-boy homies in high school. We would help facilitate those types of activities so they could b-boy without having any kind of restrictions from the school and stuff like that. I would organize and campaign for us to be able to have a space where we can do hip hop without and battle without the school teachers breaking it up and you know what I mean, thinking it's a
Yes.
fight or something. But hip hop, rhyming, MCing was my first
Mm.
element.
Yeah. I would say for me it was the lyrics too. But I don't know, man. I'm just because I before I ever like I I heard rap since I was 1 years old, man. So
Mm.
I was hearing music side by side with rap because my father was a record collector and he loved all kind of genres, man.
Mm.
Like most of his genres was in the 70s, but he had classic stuff like dating back to like the 40s and stuff like that. But it was just little tidbits here and there.
Yeah.
But I was hearing all kind of music around the same time I was hearing hip hop. And I'm talking about back to Curtis Blow and you know, uh, uh, uh Furious Five, Grandmaster
Mm-hmm.
Flash, all of it. Like I was hearing all that back in the day, but yeah, it was definitely both that hit me at the same time because I was already paying attention to the melodies even as a baby
Yeah.
that was coming out of his speakers. Like he used to sit me in front of the speaker, turn that joint up, and I put my hand on it as it vibrated. And that
Mm.
goes back to what I was saying as far as like the energy and motion. Like that's always been a thing for me where I notice how music is a force. Like it literally is, it's weight to it. You know what I mean? Scientists have shown it's literal weight to sound.
Yes.
And so it was like head to head with me. Like I couldn't separate because, you know, somebody said it. I don't know who said it, but they were like, rap without beats is just poetry. You feel me? And
Mm.
so it's always held equal importance to me. That's why I'm so adamant about producers getting respect
Oh yes.
because a lot of times producers get pushed to the background and the rapper is in the forefront. But if you look at when hip hop really started off,
Yeah.
we were here first. The DJs was here with the music. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of times the DJs became the producers. And then the rappers came on the scene like, let me rap over this. You
Mm-hmm.
mean? So we got this relationship that's real symbiotic where we feed off each other and we give each other that energy back and forth. Like I bring you the beat, you bring me the lyrics, and I'm like, yeah, I feel what he's saying. Let me turn this off here and turn this up, drop this out, and we giving back and forth to each other. So
Yes.
it's kind of always been like that with me, with both of them side by side. You mean?
Mm. Man, and that's
That's also to like add on to that. That's the space I gave this project. I honored that because I was like, yeah, I produce, but this man gets
yeah.
busy. Like I'm gonna let him do his thing, and I'm gonna for once just not have my hand in everything and just be a rapper. And that's another part of the project where I feel like it comes together. You know.
Mm. And speaking of that,
Yeah.
since we're alluding to it, let's go ahead before you head out. Let's talk
Okay.
about the project. Let grown folks rap. Let's talk a bit about it. Can y'all give us a spill a bit about it before I give any other questions on it? So, what little bits can you share about
Yeah.
the new
Well,
What
project?
was
go ahead,
that?
different, and I'll share after you.
The first joint I believe was Higher Ground.
That's, well, you
I
talking about
think that's
as
the
in,
first one we recorded.
oh, okay.
That's the first one we recorded, and then the first one we released was
No denying.
It's
It's
Over.
over.
It's over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So No Denying was maybe third on the, creation list or whatever.
Mhm.
But
Mm-hmm.
definitely one of my favorites. Um, you know, these projects. I mean, this project particularly on a lyrical level,
Yeah.
I had taken a different approach with how I was creating the lyrics. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I typically would write a lot of stuff, but probably within the last like 5 years, I don't write anything down anymore. Like I literally
Mm.
just be on the mic, say what I need to say. If I need to stop, I gotta punch in, blah 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 blah. But I just kind of say what's on my mind.
Mm.
This is the very first project where I've actually done that. And so if you listen to my music in a chronological order, you can kind of hear the difference between this project and the others, based off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wow.
I don't think it's, I don't know. I've been hearing good things about it. I haven't heard anyone go, yo, that was, I don't know. So since people aren't complaining,
Yeah.
like,
I,
like I'm just going to keep it because I create more in that way of making music. So I might as well just keep it up. Right.
Yeah. He definitely got on his Jay-Z on this album, man. He didn't write hardly nothing. And it's funny because back when I used to rap, I got to that point and it became more comfortable with me because I'm less comfortable with the pen than I am with the freestyling. So a lot of my ideas
mm.
back when I was rapping, like hardcore rapping, I would just keep a either cassette tape on me back in those days or either a digital recorder on me and just shoot off a few of my ideas here. Maybe I'll be in a restaurant and I get an idea and I say, I don't have nothing around. Let me write it on a napkin. And I'd have a bunch of ideas in different places and I sit down and I had to put them in a format where I could get them, on tape.
Yeah.
But then when I start just, like he said, punch recording or either getting on the mic and just letting a few thoughts out of the moment, man, I forgot about all that writing stuff because it was
Mm.
like it was a restriction to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to do the editing thing when I sit down. I got the napkin over here. It's got a few words. I'm like, that fits, but it don't fit with this part. That's too much editing, man. Let me just go ahead and get on the mic and let loose. And
Mm.
yeah, when I watched him, man, it brought back the memories, and that's why I loved working with him, man, because he was in that moment. You know what I mean? It was like in the moment. It was pure, man.
Mm.
Yeah. That's
Man.
why,
Yeah.
I like this. I love this project because it's kind of like, it doesn't have that, I don't know. It is structured in a sense where it's thematically all like blends together.
Yes.
But all different types of themes. Um, you know, there's some braggadocio on there.
Mm-hmm.
There's some uplift on there,
Yeah.
positivity, um, a lot of wordplay, a lot of barbarian heavy raps.
Don't front.
So you're gonna get hit with different, a lot of like life reality check type things. So you're gonna get hit with different elements of topics. Um, but this is probably my hardest project, like hands down.
Mm.
Like is not even a question.
And I'm not bragging and saying this, but I really do think it's the chemistry, man. When like me and this man made a beat one time, and when I tell you that beat was so nasty, bro. I'm in the hospital, so if you hear some noise, don't worry about it. But when I tell you that beat was so nasty, I never heard nothing like that in my life, and I'm like, our chemistry was just amazing. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? I'm gonna bounce out and come back in and see if it makes a difference as far as my audio. Y'all give me a second. I'll be back.
All right,
It's
bro.
all good. All good.
All right.
Wow. Man. That's, I mean, that's wonderful, and that's really dope to hear, especially coming from you. And again, some of the questions I had prior, y'all was already on point touching these, so it's like I'm just listening to the flow of this stuff. But on top of, and it's beautiful. I'm loving this regardless. So man, thank you.
Me
On
too.
top of that, with the project, Let Grown Folks Rap, like why this point in time right now, why make this project, why put this out into the world for people to hear this?
Like we said earlier, we started in 17 with this, the chemistry of it.
Mm.
Um, and he also said it too. Like we're both perfectionists, so it took a while for us to get these tracks to the place where we really was comfortable sharing them.
Yeah.
We knew we had something, but his ear is crazy. My ear is sometimes even at moments where we would clash, and I'd be like, "Nah, it's straight like that." He'd be like, "Nah, I'm hearing something else," or he'd be like, "Nah, it's straight," and I'm like, "Nah, I gotta add this or whatever." So
Yeah.
there was a lot of that. Um, the dynamic of me being a family man,
Yeah.
raising my family and my kids and stuff, just full time. It's when you're a full time father and you are doing music and working a regular gig or whatever the case may be. Sometimes music doesn't hold its precedence as
Yes.
first. You know what I'm saying? Because you got other obligations and things like that that you feel are more important, and music can wait,
Yes.
type of thing. Um, and so, but in this current climate, I've been blessed enough to just do music all day, every day. So it's accelerated even some of my musical releases and things like that, and publications. And it was like, now is the time. Now is the
Mm.
time. Can't wait anymore. Plus, I'm sitting on like 7 more of his beats, and I'm like, these other ones got to come out, and I ain't gonna be just, you know what I mean, like sitting on the ones we got. We got to put these out. So
Yes.
definitely needed to drop them bad boys.
I'm so glad you did, because again, when I saw this come out, I was like, all right, yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna have to listen to this after
What's one
again
of your favorite
kicking it.
songs off the project?
I was about to you look at you already reading my mind? Are you reading my mind right now?
Yeah, we want your feedback too.
So off the project, for me, again, I love the production on this song, as well as, again, for me, it got to know a lot more about you. I love Another Road. That's one of my favorite tracks on the project, is Another Road. As well as, of course, I'm gonna call it a posse cut. Of course, Don't Front. Like that beat hits and everybody spits. Even I don't know which verse is D on, because that even his verse, like nobody
He's on
was
the hook.
lacking. But he's
He's
on
on
the
the hook.
hook. Okay.
Yep.
He's doing the hook. No, okay. I was about to say. Because I'm like,
He had a
nobody was
verse on there.
lacking.
He had a verse on there, and yo, you there? You there, Ski?
Yeah, I'm back in. Yeah, I had a false
Talking about
alarm, man.
we talking about
I
Don't Front.
still can't get the audio to act right, but I'm gonna do the same little technique, putting head to the
All right,
head, put my
all right. So yo, we talking about Don't Front. He said the Don't Front is one of his favorite songs off the project. He's like, "Where's D Ski on that song?" And I was like, "Yo," I'm like, "Yo, he's on the hook." You know what I mean? He's on the hook.
Yeah, and I'm on I rap on that one too.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
rhyme
yeah,
on I rhyme on that one. I'm like the what, third verse?
yeah. You're like,
Cause you got you,
what's your intro bars on that?
some niggas out here talking about, oh, here we go with this again. Don't start.
Box hot.
These niggas out here rapping like they trapping, but really they not, claiming it, that.
Like a
But
Mm,
box hot, but still in their place.
yeah, I kept it real all
Yeah.
over the place. But you got Blue, then you got me, and then you got your boy Cassius. Closed it out perfectly.
bruh. That's what I was telling him that I love the posse cop, because again, not only is the message needed and it's clear, especially for I see even nowadays, but two, nobody was slacking on that. Like I even played it in the car with a few of my homies when I was driving, and it was like, ooh, like they was responding to like everybody's verse and was having like a quote from everybody's verse. And I was like, yeah,
That's
bro, this
crazy.
is this is who this is. And it was like, okay, I'm gonna have to check them out. Like a
So
thousand
let me tell
percent.
you a real little quick story about that song, man. A lot of people don't know this song, man. That is one of my favorite songs too, because of how it came together. So Def and me had this song. Which one? Which
Here,
song was it?
here.
Was it Here For?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Here For.
Mm,
And we spent a weekend shooting a video for that, and we still gonna work on it and put it out eventually. But we shot some video footage for that, and originally I was gonna do a verse on there. Life got in the way. I couldn't kick it. So he's like, okay, well, let me put Blue on here. So he sent it to Blue. Blue laced the verse. and he brought it back to me and let me listen to it. So I'm listening to it. I was like, yo, this is dope. But what he's saying, this would make for a better, like if we took this one verse, I legit could make a whole song around this one verse instead of having this on this song. And that's what I did. I made a beat that fit the verse he was spitting. Then we wrote on that topic. Like me, Def wrote on that topic.
Oh,
Then we got Cassius on it. And so it was a whole song basically written around and produced around Blue's one verse. Because he
wow.
had a certain rhythm he was spitting to that it fit with the song he was on, but it just was so dope. I was like, nah, this got to stand alone, bro. This got to stand alone as a full body of work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And it just came together like that. Like, we going to build on this one verse this man put out. You know what I mean? So it was a
wow.
little moment of magic. I looked at it like that. You know
Yeah,
what
and
I'm saying?
that's what I was saying. Like also with illegal, he'd be like hearing stuff, and then he'll just be like, "I'm gonna flip this," and I think that's the good thing about the chemistry is like I trust him with the process. You know,
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
could have been like, "Nah, man, it's staying on this song or whatever," and then just causing problems. But to trust him with that production process and taking a step back, just being an MC was something that I enjoyed doing throughout the process.
Yes. Over.
Yeah.
And I will say, even though I'm like naming those few, like honestly, and this is just again, I give like I'm a constructive on this. Um, honestly, I could play this project all the way through from start to bottom, from top to bottom, honestly. And like there's like maybe one song in particular that I'd be like, all right, like, it wasn't for me like right now at the moment, but most of the
Right.
time, like all of them, no, I'm running through the whole thing. I play the whole thing all the way through. It's to
Mm-hmm.
me, it's strong all the way through. So y'all taking that time to get the process together and quote unquote say being the perfectionist and putting all those pieces together. Well, I mean, it shows. Like it's really,
Appreciate it.
to me personally, is little to no potholes or anything, and it's very, very clean, very solid overall.
Yeah. Appreciate that, man.
Then you
We
mentioned
talk about me as a producer. His producing ear comes into play too sometimes because what he does vocally, even as a producer of, like with drums and other instruments, what he does vocally is similar to what I do when I hear certain things. And it's been times like he sent me a verse or two and said, I'm gonna finish this verse off. I mean, I'm gonna finish the song off with another verse, or we'll do something else here. And I'll do something to the beat, and he'll go back and change something according to what I did to the beat, and it just fits. Like everything we do fits, back and forth. It's like it's amazing, man. It's like a reflective thing. Like he reflects off of what I do, I reflect off what he does, and it builds something organic. You know what I mean?
so take you
Mm,
said you liked Another Road. So like that was basically we were practically done with the project, and something wasn't settling right with me because like I'd never really done like a backstory song. Like
mm,
a lot of my songs are just a lot of wordplay, rapidy rap. I'm gonna rap you like
yes,
I'll rap you like. But this song particularly gives a lot of insight to my past and stuff like
yeah,
that, and like my
Mm-hmm.
journey and stuff like that. And I don't, and to my knowledge, I don't think I maybe have a song called Yesterday. I
yes.
touched briefly on,
Ooh, that
but
one is fire too. But yes,
it doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't dive in as much as this song does. So
Yeah, it's
he
real
took that
introspective, bro.
concept
hmm
and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make the perfect beat around that." And when I heard the sample and all that, and obviously it's a
hmm
well known sample piece, but he did his magic and worked around it. And then there's a beat change like mid song, and then it just goes into a whole nother vibe. It's insane, man.
Did not expect
Yeah, and
that,
I
and
sang
I
on that.
like that. Oh,
I
so you
was
was on
like,
there too?
yeah, on the second part of the beat, I sang and I sampled myself. So the vocals you hear in the
Mm.
second half, switch of the beat, that's me singing. And it was I don't know, man. It was because I think I'm trying to remember. Did I do the switch before you did the song, or did I do the switch after you
Which
start
was
writing
after,
to it?
which was after
Yeah,
you took it to a
that's what I
whole.
thought. because it was just the way the stuff he was talking about. Like, I think that's one reason we work so well together. We got a lot of similarities between our lifestyles, and we
Yeah.
run a lot of parallels side by side sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, he talked to you about his experience in loss, and then I was having an experience right after him that dealt with loss, a possible loss, and it was like our lives were running side by side. Like,
Yeah.
he goes through something, I be there for him. I go through something, he be there for me. You know what I mean? And it was the same with the music. Like,
Yes.
he would get these ideas, and when he tell them to me, I'm like, yo, let's do this. And it would add to his ideas and vice versa. I get an idea, he have some ideas to go on top of the ideas I had, and it just made it that much more bigger. And I'm like, yo, we got to stop at one point, because we'll be then recorded 6 or 7 albums
Yeah, it makes
with this process. You know what I'm saying? We got to put this one out first. And we
yeah,
stayed on top of each other. Like, we just got to cut it off here, man. We got to
and
go
then
ahead
we're
and give it to
both
the
like
world.
visionaries, so it's like we're both visionaries.
Yeah.
We'll be like, okay, we're gonna do a joint production album where we're both rapping on it, or it'll be just
Yep.
me making beats and then it's just Ski rapping, or
Yeah.
like there's so many different chemistry of formulations that we can make from that. So we both visionaries, so we gotta like sometimes stop and be like, all right, let's just
Yeah. Cut it off and be like, just give them this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Two-man scientist, man. You know, scientists be in the science lab all day.
That's
They forget to eat, go to the washroom, or anything. Like, dang, we got to go outside.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, can't be in here creating all this crazy stuff and then just stay in all the time.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all look at y'all got some gems, y'all got some insides, y'all got some exclusives on this too. And this is to the people telling you. And again, for y'all, if y'all don't know who these folks are, again, got Definite Mass down there, as well as got D-Ski, the Ill Ego, also in here. And we talking about the project like Grown Folks Rap under Ski Mask. And again, if y'all want to check this stuff out, it's on Bandcamp. You know, it's going to be looking forward to seeing it on other platforms and things and stuff as that nature. I'm going to link all their stuff again later on down the line, as well as doing shots out. But along with the whole process of this project and album, what I like to ask those who make the projects and send it out to the people is also with this project, what's the main message you want or to send to your listeners and people to know from this project? What do you want them to get out of it?
I'm gonna take it. For me, I'm gonna just take it in an honorary fashion. Shout out Ski's grandma. You know what I'm saying? We was over there one time. I was over there one time, and she was like, "Let the grown folks rap.
she sure did.
Let the grown folks rap." That became the theme, and we were like, "Oh, that is just too cold. We gotta like honor that."
Gotta do it. Yeah. It was
Wow.
just like it was perfect.
Yeah, I'm not super young no more, and I don't ever try to front, but you know,
Right.
I just try to keep it real. Like, there is no time on this thing. Music
Yeah.
is timeless. So I could make something right now. I could drop something now that I had a verse for from 7 years ago,
Yeah.
and I could remix a song from 3-4 years ago or whatever. Or the concept remains itself. Or when people hear this stuff that I drop and they like, dang, this is good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how old you are.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also with that, man, it's funny because when she said that, I had that whole thing in my head. I'm like, a lot of times they say rap is like the young man's game or whatever. And so a lot of times older rappers get discredited, or not even just older necessarily, but if you're not the age that's popular at that moment,
Yeah.
a lot of people that's older than that age demographic get discredited. It's like, now we're not trying to hear these old school rappers. I'm like, old school? We just 5 minutes ago. Here we go with that
Yep.
again. But I'm gonna wrap it at this so I can get off so that won't be in here. But they discredit it a lot of times, and it's like they don't realize that we laid the foundation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And so it's the whole title is just like a reminder.
Yes.
Y'all say what y'all have to say. We respect it. We got some stuff to say too. You feel
Mm.
me? And it's like, if they sit down and listen, they see the reflective nature of where they got their creativity from. Just like we look at Rakim Big Daddy Kane, and we say, okay, we're reflecting what they doing in this generation, and then we
Yes.
pass it down, and the next generation reflects it in their generation, and so on and so on. It's like let everybody speak, but you know how the old folk used to say when grown folks are speaking, all the kids got to be quiet. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
that too. It's like, all right, we got some stuff to say. Listen for a second. We'll let y'all get back to playing, having fun, but let us talk. Let us talk for a few minutes. Let's get the mics.
Mm,
Man,
I love it, man.
yeah.
And I know some I know giants in the music industry that just through over time, people develop other interests or find other things more purposeful in their lives, and they drop out the creative realm. And
Yes.
I think a lot of that ties into them facing their age and coming into certain
Mm-hmm.
realities about themselves. Like, I can't just be a rapper forever, like, or I just can't do this. But why not?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, why not? There's other ways to grow in the industry. You know what I'm saying? As I get older, I'm finding myself more instrumental in other fashions. I
Yeah.
may not be forefront MC all the time. I might be able to help one of my younger artists on the way up, or I might be able to, you know, produce or offer brand advice for other people. Or there's just so many things you learn along the way. But if you stay in one lane and
Yeah.
that's all you do, then you find yourself limited in how you're working in the industry, and then it can get to the point where you're like, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to really, I don't want to do this no more. Type,
Get burnt out.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Get discouraged
I'm gonna
as
get
well.
ready to bounce, man, but I'm gonna just say one more thing, and I'm gonna have let you, if you have another question, ask that before I bounce. But if you look at a lot of the greats, like I was talking about Rakim and Snoop Dogg,
Yeah.
you know, like I could give you a whole list. It's a whole lot of cats they haven't slowed down one day.
Yeah.
Like they continuing on, and it's like y'all could try those limits if y'all want to, but it's not affecting people who want to be creative. Like it's old cats that
Yes.
I know that I used to see in my neighborhood used to be standing on the corner drug dealing and rapping, and they old as I don't know what now. You know what I'm saying? They were just all they was doing is telling their stories, whether it was a grim story or whether it was a celebration. All it is you're speaking your truth and telling your story, what you see and experience and what you hear. So
Mm-hmm.
that never stops. You gonna see something to the day you die. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna have some information to share.
Yes.
So yeah, it's.
Hey. Yes. Thank you. Thank you again for sharing that, brother. And again, that's your life, man. Memoirs of a real experiences. You're experiencing things every single day. So there's always gonna be something to write about. There's always something to experience. Again,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to get the lesson. I mean, if you don't, then you see the result of what happens with that.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
yes, brother.
facts.
But yeah, I got a portion of some fun questions. I know again, whenever you gotta peace out, just let me know. You dip out, D. It's all
Yeah.
good. But I like to do this section just again to segue from questions, and then I have a few more, and then the interview will be over and done for today. Which again, thank y'all both for being on here. I'm
Word up.
appreciative of
Sure.
both of y'all's time because that's one thing I value a lot is when people give up their time. It shows not only just the support, but also again really where I'm not gonna say what their values, but again, it's just much appreciated on my part. So I want to give y'all that and your flowers at the same time. But yes, with that, fun questions. They may not be fun to some of y'all, but they're fun to me. Um, but again, this is for everybody who wants to also answer these too. I'm gonna have them in there in the comments. Y'all can do what y'all want to do with that, but we're gonna do the fun questions, and after that, we'll get right back into the last few for the interview. So the fun question I got, the first one, I always like would you rather's. So y'all listen up for this one. D, definitely listen. I know you got to get close to the phone for sure.
Yeah, yeah, you
Listen in for
close.
this one. But my would you rather question is: would you rather have access to all the knowledge in the world, be able to remember all of it, but you couldn't properly share the knowledge? That's the first one. So you have all the knowledge, you know all the knowledge, but you don't know how to put it all together to share it with people. Or the
Okay.
second one, would you rather be a master at one skill and teach it so well that anyone can easily learn the skill from you?
Hmm. That's a good one.
So would you want to know all the knowledge in the world, be able to retain all of it down to a T, but you don't know how to give it out to the people, or you be a master at whatever particular skill it is, and you can teach it so well that people pick it up like that?
All right,
I'm
so
gonna go with the
one.
second one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the second one. Only reason is because I think that myself personally, I can't speak for anybody else. I think there's a benefit to the process of giving out and receiving.
Mm,
And so when I give out, it gives me a if nothing else, it gives me the knowledge that I'm affecting somebody else's life, and that knowledge positively affects my being, so that I'm able to continue doing that. So it's kind of like you know how you have a river
yeah.
and it's flowing into other channels.
Mm,
If that river sits, sometimes rivers, when they sit and they don't flow out into other channels, the water gets stagnant. You
yes.
know what I mean? And I'm gonna show my age real quick. So if you ever seen the old Twilight Zone,
Oh.
there's this episode where this cat is he's basically, he loves reading, man. He just loves reading. And he can't relate to anybody else on any other level because he's not really that type of person that's social.
Mm,
And the world ends, and he's sad because he's the last man left standing. But he ends up wandering off and finding a library. And so he's like, "Oh man, F the world, I got the library. I can live for the rest of my life to the day I die and be happy."
yeah.
But then as he leans over, his glasses fall off and they crack. So now he's got
Oh
all the knowledge in the world,
yeah.
but he can't read. And he's there by himself. And
Mm.
I look at that like me. If I had all the knowledge in the world about, you know, several issues or one, I don't remember which one it was. Was it one topic or several issues?
Oh, so if you have all the knowledge and you're able to do it, you know everything
Okay,
versus
I
the
know
other one
everything.
being the one skill that you're a
Right, I got the
master
one
of.
skill part. So if I had all the knowledge and I couldn't give anything out, that just, to me, that wouldn't make any sense, because I would know everything I need to know, but then I couldn't share that with anybody. And so I'm just gonna die knowing everything and watch everybody else around me not have ability to access that knowledge. That's torturous to me. I don't know about anybody else, but just me. I'd
Mm.
be like, yo, I see people doing something and they couldn't figure out how to do it, and I know the answer, but I can't give it to them. Nah. I'm gonna
Mm.
stick with the last one.
Got you.
I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna be devil's advocate and pick the first option. So,
Mm.
um, not by choice. I see the value in the second option.
Yes.
Obviously, you want to be able to share your knowledge with people, and that's what I love doing too. That's my job. But um, by example, if I'm able to use this knowledge instead of just have, and I can't teach people, but I can use the knowledge if that's
Yeah.
part of the criteria,
Yeah.
then I can establish some foundations and lead by example, and people are just going to have to study what I did, as opposed to
Mm.
me being able to just properly teach. Even though I can't teach in this scenario, I could lead by example, and people are just going to have to study and watch,
Mm.
and I can lay foundations. I can lay some of foundations with my own energy while I'm still here and alive and present, and those things obviously would die at some point, but
Yeah.
it would have left a stamp and a mark for other people to model. It's kind of
That's a
like
good answer.
it's kind of like with the Jay Dilla. Like, I'm sure people that session with Dilla learned a whole lot,
Yes.
but for me, being an outsider, I wasn't there during those sessions. I wasn't there. Like, I never watched a Jay Dilla tutorial, um, if such things
It's
exist.
this.
uh, but from listening and observing and hearing and studying by sound, able to learn from that manner. Like,
Yeah.
he never taught me, but he taught me.
Yes.
You know,
Mm.
so that's just kind of
Mm-hmm.
like what I, and same thing. It goes back to our activist leaders.
Yeah.
We want to talk about your MLKs and your Martin Luther Kings, and you know Nat Turners, and different people like that. They didn't have tutorials or like a YouTube page where we can go like learn how to be an activist or something like that. But you could study the story and the lifestyle and the blueprint for their
Yes.
successes and things and go, oh, I can model that, you
Yes.
know. So I don't know. It's just how I look at it.
Hey,
Again.
yo, make sure you save this live, man, if you don't mind me asking.
Oh yeah. Well,
Save
look.
this
Yeah.
live.
Well, look. If you didn't know, this is actually a series of stuff that I do. It's called More Interviews. So I actually interview artists, authors, poets, just the whole spiel of folks. And this is actually a play on words because again, it's an acronym you see at the top. It's
Yeah, I see the acronym up there.
memoirs of our real experiences, and this is basically a living. You can say a living
Nice.
page in someone's memoir when they come on. So this is going to be on YouTube as well as it's going to stay on
Cool.
Instagram. So it'll
Appreciate
be
it.
there. So yes, brother.
Yeah, I like the acronym thing you do, bro. That's a big thing I do in my life is have acronyms. You know, that's
Yeah,
dope.
I'm trying to make it my second like AKA, one of my AKAs. So and shouts out to
Gotcha.
all the folks who use it, acronyms as well. But I
Yeah.
love both of the answers, honestly. And that's where I was going with when I came up with the first one. That was my angle, was that you wasn't gonna be able to express it through words, but through your actions and what you do for people to see that. And then in the second one, D, like I for sure, like that's literally was that. It's like if I'm going to be able to do that and people pick it up so easily, I'd rather have that than having to know every single thing and not be able to, speak it
Sure.
out, but share it in that way. But again,
Mm-hmm.
that's why it doesn't matter. Nobody's right or wrong on here. You have what you have from it. It's supposed to be fun. Nobody, it's no
Yeah.
prize at the end. The prize is the wisdom you get from these.
Right.
The next thing I got, and again, D, when you gotta go, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go after this one.
So I got this one. This is literally, I want y'all to finish this line with whatever comes to your mind. Since again, we don't write in this particular case, what I've learned in the process is, so I'm just gonna say this line and y'all finish it, whatever you want. The opportunity is knocking.
That's the line.
Mm-hmm.
So we doing it in a rap form, or is this just a thought?
Rap form, thought, wherever you want it. Finish. The opportunity is knocking.
All right.
Opportunity is knocking. I open the doors. I open the doors. My son said, then I see a clock. No, I open the doors and I open the doors and I act and stop watching.
Mm.
He stole my door thing because I was on that. I'm gonna get something else since you took that because I was about to do something with the door. Like opportunity was knocking, I opened the door. Let me think.
To flip it.
Opportunity is knocking.
Opportunity's knocking like D-Ski Beats.
Mm.
The opportunity is knocking. I examine the situation
Mm.
and find out what obstacle is blocking.
Ooh.
I don't know. You know?
Okay.
Opportunity's knocking. I open the door and observe options.
Yeah, I like that too.
Mm. So you can see what obstacle is blocking.
Ooh.
See, look at y'all
Yeah.
together. No, see, look at y'all right.
We bounce back and forth, man.
Man, without even trying, y'all still put the chemistry together with these lines already. Man. Thank you for sharing that again.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce too, man. But this was amazing, man. I know y'all probably gonna continue on, but
Yeah, for like
I
another
enjoyed
10
this.
minutes or so. But again,
Yeah,
I
I enjoyed
appreciate
this,
you
man.
coming through.
Absolutely, same here.
So, all right, brother.
It's
Shouts
good
out to
chopping it
you.
up with you, Def. I'm gonna holler at you later, man.
All right, brother. Thanks for
Peace, man.
coming on.
Good chopping it up with you.
Yeah, likewise. Nice meeting you as well.
All right, one. Everybody can follow me on this profile or on my other profile. I think y'all probably link me. If not,
Yes, I'll
I'll
link
let
you.
Def link me.
Make sure you
And y'all
drop a
can follow
comment.
me on those.
Drop a
Yeah.
comment before you go so people can see
Okay,
what.
will it stay in here?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
saying
safe. At least in this live. But if not, again, we get all the info because I'll put it out on Instagram so everybody can go to links as well as
All
YouTube, so
right,
can go
bet.
to links. So it's perfect.
Bet. I appreciate that.
Yes,
You can
yes.
follow me here or you can follow me here.
Boom.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
All right,
Perfect.
y'all. I'm out.
that's love, man. Be
All right,
easy.
Salute.
brother.
Love y'all, man.
Yeah,
Peace.
that up.
Peace. Man, that was dope. That's super, super dope. And one more of the fun questions, and then we'll get back and round it out with the last two I got.
All right.
So the next one I got is it's a scenario. So the scenario is if you had the chance to persuade someone from a terrible decision that you know would ruin their life in any fashion, it don't have to be extreme or just, reputation, etc. How and what would you tell them?
Um, typically, what I do in this scenario is question to have them run through the whys.
Mm,
You know, why they want to make said choice. You know what I mean? Because I think it's important that we all acknowledge why we're doing something. A
yes,
lot of times we just do things just because we're influenced to do such, or we want to try something, or a lot of people don't know themselves,
yeah,
you know. So asking the whys kind of gets some depth into the psyche of why they're thinking a particular way.
yes,
And once that is identified, obviously there's some kinks in there, because it's not a healthy choice.
yes,
So then identifying what that is, and then being able to segue into the alternative, whatever that alternative is, and then
mm,
why that's better for them, why it benefits them more, why it's more purposeful. You know, uh, I think that's the main thing.
yeah,
Just trying to see the whys.
yes. Mm, it's the process, y'all. I dig it. I dig the process. And thank you again for sharing those. Those were my fun questions. Again, it's fun to me, but it may not be fun, to everybody else or anybody.
Having a good
But
time. Yeah.
yes. So thank y'all for participating in that. Even y'all that's out there that watch this interview later, but at the same time, again, thank you, brother, for that. So I got three more questions for you, and then we're out for the interview. And
Yeah.
again, yes, y'all, if it's long, okay. Well, again, this is just the quality. It's the quality of it. Again, time is a man-made concept. I'm just playing, but again,
It is.
appreciate the time. We can get into that, but yeah, if y'all really again tuning in, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for the support. So going back into not only not just being able to share in the one skill, or as well as being able to move and do through your actions and show folks the way in those particular ways. I wanted to ask you, with your passions, what's your ultimate goal? And even if it's not ultimate, what would be one of the bigger picture things you see with your passions?
Right now, main passions are just being an educator. Um, music is obviously very prevalent, strong in my life, but it's a medium. It's a
Mm-hmm.
tool. You know what I'm saying? It's a tool to be able to give other people an opportunity to use to come to know themselves. Um, it helped me understand who I am, so I know it can help other people discover who they are. And so ultimately, that's the mission. With what I do as an educator, I teach recording arts, um, but I teach it in a sense where it's like more directed towards knowledge of self than it is like self gratification or like trying to be famous or like any of those materialistic endeavors.
Yeah.
Obviously, those are rewards of hard work and things like that. But the genuine artist is birthed from knowledge of self.
Yeah.
You knowing who you are, knowing where you come from, then you can talk about all those things comfortably without having to try to subscribe to a particular formula for success.
Yeah.
I gotta make these types of songs because then these types of people like. I gotta rhyme on these types of beats because everybody likes
Mm,
this and that. So once you got knowledge of self, it takes you out of all those insecurity scenarios, and you're free to drop because you know it's you. Um, it keeps people off the keeps kids and youth off the streets. It keeps adults off the
street.
streets. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it keeps people in a. It's an outlet.
Yes.
Mental health, mental health. And knowledge yourself.
Mm. And I think that's one of the reasons why I have the utmost of respect and admiration for what you do, and I think that's why I click so much with you, even in the first instances, is not even knowing again what this is spoken to be. It's just again through your actions it already showed that you was already doing a lot of these things. So man, yes, I appreciate that answer, and I see it being done, and always still send you always love, success, more prosperity as you're on that road to do so, and you are doing. um on top of that, with being able to again show and not just only build this community, but be able to really build into people, and not just for of course all the monetary that all comes as it does, but more so like that practicality and really building on that firm foundation of self. What are your thoughts on continuing traditions when it comes to your passions and your life?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I grew up a hip hop head. All the elements. I believe they're all vital.
Yes.
Dance. The physical arts of drawing and calligraphy. Um, graffiti, muraling, muralists.
Yes.
Um, Knowledge is another element of hip hop that is not in like the typical four square,
Yeah.
and so it's in fashion is not also listed, which is another element of hip hop. All those
Mm-hmm.
things are prevalent, and you know that's just where it's at. The elements.
Mm. Mm. And on top of that too, what are your thoughts in connection also with self-preservation?
Um, so I'm talking about tradition and self preservation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with self preservation, I'm just trying to maintain good health, bro. Self preservation is about health first. So like, I've been jumping on this juicing,
Mm.
making sure I try to get the exercise that I need in. It's easier said than done. Um, there's a lot of preparation that goes into juicing. You know, um, buying it, cleaning it, chopping it up,
Yep.
getting them prepared. But when you start to face mortality,
Yeah.
and start understanding, and people start passing away around you, and you know, um, on a more frequent manner that you probably weren't aware of before or whatever, you just really start to think about it. And when you're younger, you don't really think about it because you figure you have forever to live. I'm gonna live till I'm gonna be about 80 or like whatever your your age is that you feel in your mind that
Yeah.
if you choose to think about said things, but the reality is all we have is right now.
Yes.
So, um, with the preservation aspect is like trying to do daily routine things that, you know, cover my health goals. And with the music aspect of preservation, um, just continuing to make stuff that I want to make.
Yeah.
Because if I made stuff that other people wanted to hear all the time or whatever's trendy and hot, I would have fizzled out a long time ago because you can never, that's not even an obtainable goal.
Yeah.
Like you can constantly shift like some of the greats like Jay-Z or Drake
Yeah.
for example, are very efficient at catching on to like the new wave, bringing on whoever's got the new sound and doing that, and that's all commendable. And I've adapted as a producer and other things like that, just because sound changes and develops and fusions happen throughout time.
Yes.
But as an MC, uh, my early influences, you're gonna hear Common, Black Thought. You're gonna hear Pun. You're gonna hear uh, Big L. You're gonna hear Nas. You're gonna hear like all these things, all these artists that I absorbed on a
Yeah.
creative level. All the different producers from these eras. So innately, when I go to create, you're gonna hear all of that.
Mm.
So that's the preservation aspect of the fusions, from the musical aspect and from a personal health aspect.
Yes. So the gems in there indeed. Daily beneficial habits. Indeed. Indeed. As well as shout out, always got to shouts out to my brother Longo. We have a hashtag. We had a hashtag and it's called self-care for your health care. Knowing how important is taking care of self, these daily beneficial habits can add not only to your lifespan, but again, being able to carry on into the future, but knowing that, like you said, the time is now. So being in that now to do so. So again, shouts out to you, shouts out to the brother for that self-care for your healthcare. All right. And last but not least, brother, I leave this question with everybody. It's just my ending question. And when it comes to any aspect, look it, it's all up for interpretation on this one. So any aspect of life, personal, outside, general, is it the quality or the quantity?
It's quality. It's quality, man. Like, yeah, you don't. Okay, you could order a pizza from Little Caesars. You know,
Yeah.
somebody's the Italian grandma, whose grandson opened up a new pizza parlor. She's got the recipe in the shop. You ain't gonna be able to top that. It's a horrible example, but that was the first thing that came to my mind. So, like in the same respect, it's kind of like, all right, let's take Lauren Hill.
Hmm.
Lauren Hill, for example, um, doesn't have a ginormous discography,
Yeah.
right? As a Lauren Hill fan, I had no idea she was going to be on Nas's album.
Mm,
When that verse came out, I was just ecstatic, and it was so refreshing to like hear her styling on the song and addressing some of the issues, public scrutinies, um, and it was a flex, man, and it was so good quality, and it kind of was just like, dang, man, it makes you want more quantity,
yeah.
but at the same time, another example, Andre 3000,
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's this Outcast body of work. Um, if Andre 3000 dropped an album right now, everybody will go dumb. Like it is just it's just that thing, quality. Now you can drop a bunch of boo boo too,
Yeah.
but it's not gonna have the same impact
Mm.
if you drop the gem. And I think that's what a lot of artists we do on our journey when we're
Yeah.
trying to like formulate who we are as artists and stuff. You're gonna drop whack stuff.
Yeah.
Like just to be honest,
Yeah.
maybe it's not totally trash, but it's just not to that level where it reaches everybody yet.
Yeah.
And then you come across that one gem, and then it's like, ooh, that's it. We got to do what that is, whatever that was.
Yeah.
We got to remember that, and that's how we do that. Create formulas.
Mm. And there it is, y'all. Well, with that, again and again, all of this stuff up for interpretation. There's no right or wrong answer. Again,
Word,
ain't
no,
nobody here to judge anything and anything in particular. This is all again building not only on your memoir, but then also for those to also take these experiences with them and also build on their life and their own memoirs. But before I go and before we end this interview, um, any shout outs, any places you want to bring people to, your Instagram, bodies of work, anything of that
yep.
sort, please put that there. As well as, again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your support. And again, I appreciate you and have the utmost respect for what you do and who you are as an individual, as well as an MC
No, thank you. No,
and producer and producer.
yeah, on God, thank you for your support. And just to kind of bring a little highlight before we go to how we met, we talked about this before. I used to run a program in Wilmington teaching, and you came by as to work and volunteer and work with the youth in there, and that was the spark of our connection. And that was, I want to say, at least 7 years ago or more.
Ooh, that was look. I want to say that was my freshman year that I actually got to connect with you. So that was about 2011, 12.
Okay, that was okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been about 11 years.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then since then, that spark to see that the positivity in that spark has so much behind it, it even rolled forward to the
Yes.
future. So that's also what we mean by like quality interactions too, as opposed to quantity.
Mm.
You know, I could have met a bunch of people, but meeting the right people is more valuable.
And, again, my thoughts exactly with that. And when stuff like that happens and you meet those quality folks and people there in that circle, for me, it's always an initiative. I remind myself in the back in any way, shape, or form to reach out and to again keep that connection there. Because honestly, with a lot of the folks, including yourself, again, and this is me sharing a bit too myself, like I didn't have that male role model in my life. And in coming across very strong males, if not also just strong individuals, and having them within my circle have really again helped me mold me and find my way when it came to this stuff. So I want to again give you your flowers and thank you, not only through your music, but through your art and through how you just, again, interacted with the youth. It really gave me keys to this life to find more so some more of my meanings in life. I even have a song for this on back on one of my projects. So, but
Okay,
again, yeah, thank you.
go ahead, do that.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, and honestly, I'm already going. I'm not gonna throw it out it on here, but we're gonna definitely talk in the back too, because there's stuff that I really would definitely like to connect with you on further past this too.
Hey, ain't nothing but a word, brother.
But with that, y'all, again, this has been another installment of More Interviews, aka Memoirs of Our Real Experiences. Thank you again to Definite Mass, as well as the special guest, D Ski the Ill Eagle, also coming through. Thank you to both of y'all for coming through and sharing your time, your perspectives, and your memoirs. Shout outs to all the people that's been in here for that long, as well as just coming through and just,
Yeah, they did. They stuck around.
yes,
Love y'all. I love y'all support, man, and appreciate every one of y'all.
exactly. And so with that, y'all, when it comes to sharing your memoirs and everything with this life. Please just continue pushing, continue to write your memoirs, and continue to have these experiences so that you can continue to keep growing and sharing your life. But with that, y'all, that's been it for more interviews. We'll catch y'all for another one. This will be up again on Instagram and YouTube later. But with that, peace and love from both of us. We out.
Yeah.